Reverend Eagle Condens, man, on his show, Gutter Ministries is a School. We doing Court of Appeals appeal, District 4, appeal of Rock County Circuit Court cases, 21FO 2133, 21FO 2036, 22FO 00026, 22FO 402, and 22FO 402 we're going to give special attention to because this is a case that Judge John M. Wood stole from Barbara W. McCroy. How did he do that when Barbara W. McCroy did not ask for a substitution? And nor did Reverend Eagle Condens Matt Timothy Lee Stewart Sr. 21FO 2018, 22FO 821, 21FO 2034, 21FO 2035, 21FO 2037. And what we have here today is a notice of motion and motion to file for extension of time to file a notice of appeal. Via all above referenced cases, via Wisconsin statute now, Rule 809A2. Please take notice, Timothy Lee Stewart Sr. hereinafter defendant appellant reserving his constitutional protected rights under the United States and the Wisconsin Constitution's Article 1, Section 7, U.S. Constitution Amendment 7, moves this honorable court for extension of time to file a pro se notice of appeal for Rock County cases 21FO 2133, 21FO 2036, 22FO 00026, 22FO 402. This was the case that was stole by Judge John M. Woods from Barbara McCroy, and Reverend Eagle did not request a substitution, and neither did Barbara McCroy, and we needed 12 humans. So we needed 12 humans. We needed 12 humans instead of one human to adjudge the activity that Reverend Eagle Condens man endured after accepting the free gift of salvation. So we'll get back to that. Now, this is Wisconsin Statute Rule 809A2, now 2A, computation and enlargement of time or reduction of time, and 809A2A, except as provided in the subsection. The court, upon its own motion, may enlarge or reduce the time prescribed by these rules or court order for doing any act or waive or permit an act to be done after the expiration of the prescribed time. Also see now Gloria A. v. versus State. Now, Gloria A. versus State, 195 Wisconsin 2nd, 268, 536 Northwest 2nd, 396, Court of Appeals, now 1995, 95-015, State X Rail, Breyer versus Milwaukee County, Circuit Court 91, Wisconsin 2nd, 833-284, Northwest 2nd, 102. Every person believed to have suffered abuse of discretion, erroneous determinations via Circuit Court judgment reserves the right to appeal via notice of appeal and supervisory court. See DeWitt Ross and Stevens versus Galaxy and Gaming Racing, 2003, Wisconsin Appeal. Now 190-267, Wisconsin 2nd. Okay. We missed that notation, but we will get it. State versus Amon, now 2010, Wisconsin 66, paragraph 20, 326, Wisconsin 2nd, now 179. 786 Northwest 2nd, 40, U.S. Constitution Amendment 7, Wisconsin Constitution, Article 1, subsection 7, Washoe County versus Graff, now 166, Wisconsin 2nd, 422, 452, 480, Northwest 2nd, 16, 1992. Citations omitted. That means all the citations ain't there. And this is concerning the right to self-representation on appeal, and only the Court of Appeals has the jurisdiction to extend the time prescribed per notice of appeal. The defendant appellant believes justified causes exist for appellate review of Circuit Court Judge John M. Wood's decision rendered in favor of the City of Janesville. Plaintiff responded via City of Janesville attorney, now Nels Chomey. As grounds now. 1. On July 7, 2022, defendant attended a Rock County Circuit Court bench trial on all Rock County cases referenced in the heading of the motion for extension of time. On 9/15/2002, defendant attended a motion hearing The court noted every issue the defendant presented was frivolous and absent merit. And you have to understand, Reverend Eagle Condez, man, acting as his own attorney, has an obligation to ask legal questions to the circuit court judge. And Judge John I. Moore's always, it never fails, the sentencing transcript's going to reflect it. He's always threatening to put Reverend Eagle Condez, man, in contempt of court, to silence him on his education of the law and his legal position. He don't want him to speak, and any man, any woman, any infant and child now that's being deprived the ability to speak out for their rights now is being denied now meaningful access to the court. No judge could just threaten you with contempt of court if you present now meritorious issues, but he want to say they're frivolous because he want to do illegal endeavors now to you, and that's violate your due process. So Reverend Eagle is going to show you the sentencing transcript. So we got fee waiver forms in for those as well. But Judge John M. Woods now has strategically now kept denying and keeps denying and withholding now that the fee waiver forms for Reverend Eagle can really seek meaningful readdress from the Wisconsin Court of Appeals. On 9/17, defendant filed a motion for receipt of final orders on all cases. They didn't even want to give him all the orders. He had to keep begging them to give him the orders to appeal. So we know when things are going wrong. So 4. On 9/26/2022, defendant appealing noted the court signed the judgments and final orders. Now on 10/6/2022, defendant traced now and traveled. He traveled to the Hedrick people, to the Hedrick Public Library, City of Janesville, State of Wisconsin, United States of America, County of Rock, and copied his handwritten notice of motion and briefs in support of his notice of appeals, motions for consolidation of appeals, motions pending release during the existence of appeals, and many more motions that Reverend Eagle Condez had filed as a conduit to appeal. After completion of tasks of noted in motions at paragraph 5, defendant appellant decided to record a sermon on YouTube. And defendant is a street pastor, Reverend Eagle Condez. Reverend Eagle Condez now is a name, but we have several names. Reverend Eagle 435 Man, Reverend Eagle, got a ministry, Reverb Eagle, Timothy Lee Stewart Reverend, all different YouTube channels. Defendant uploads his recorded videos through for free. Now he has not established a profit. He's doing this for spiritual treasures. Now we're storing up eternal treasures. So eternal treasures you don't get paid for. The only person that can pay you for your eternal treasures is the Lord our God. So he ain't said I want to profit off this or non-profit, for-profit, gospel. I just want to do it, God, and educate the humans so they can get studied in your word. So Reverend Eagle Condez, man, storing up eternal treasures, and that's a spiritual thing, and it ain't physical. So he's going broke, but a lot of people don't understand it. But eternally, now we moving for that reservation now in John 14 verses 1 through 6, where it said, now we got to accept you first in order to get to the Father. And the Father we got to accept as well. So we got to see the Father, then we got to accept you. And then it's a lexicon that is you, everybody that you claim to say we got to accept the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So we respect all of it. And we know that your bread and your butter is given now to the humans, but sometimes they get too much bread, they get too much butter, and then they get too much power. And remember, my Lord, that Pilate asked you now, was you the King of the Jews, my Lord? It's November 2nd, 2022. Reverend Eagle Condez, man, approaching the throne of grace, my Lord, asking you to convince now Judge John M. Woods and all the other humans who were paid off that they might have been overpaid because they stored up eternal treasures, and that ghost, that ghost is something that they gonna need to have in order to get to the new heaven. So that's what Reverend Eagle says. So paragraph 6. After completion of his task, now noted at paragraph number 5, defendant appealing now decided to record a sermon via YouTube. Now defendant is a street pastor. Now his lifestyle choices, his lifestyle activity, and his lifestyle memories, past, present, and future, now leaning in with the demons and leaning in with the Lord our God, now gives him now the ability to say he's qualified, bona fide, and certified to be a street pastor. And he preaching the word of God like a lot of people ain't preaching, and he upload these shows for free on YouTube. Reverend Eagle 435 Man, Reverend Eagle, God of Ministries, Reverend Eagle, Timothy Stewart Reverend, all our different YouTube channels. Defendant uploads his recorded videos through. On 10/6/2022, as the defendant was recording his show, neighbor Ronald Sutherland and his accomplices were stalking defendant's legal papers. The defendant has numerous federal lawsuits against Ronald Sutherland and other neighbors, Andrew Banks, and other covert and overt racist behaviors and activities that promoted this is noted throughout the Wisconsin Western District federal branch now in the city of Madison, state of Wisconsin, United States of America, county of Dane. Once defendant now finished with his recording now, he realized that now, hold on, where's my legal work? I only walked a short distance. Where could my legal work have gone? Who did this to me? So it was a sick situation where reality kicked in, and Reverend Eagle Condia's man realized that, hold on, somebody stole my legal work. But why? Why would it get this far? So the documents noted at paragraph 5 were all stolen, including his federal court papers and lawsuits. And this is a federal crime as well. It's a theft of federal mail, but these vessels ain't really can. So Reverend Eagle Condia's man said he taking them to YouTube. And he's showing the judges, he's showing the lawyers, he's showing the city attorneys, he's showing all attorneys, all humans are supposed to be guided by the Spirit in order to represent the guilty parties. So, Lord our God is our Savior, and He comes to save those who are guilty of a lot of things. And Reverend Eagle Condia's man had a horrible past. Now he was guilty of so many sins that only the Lord our God now could speak to him and save him and redeem him. And there's a lot of humans that's being adjudged by judges, and when it's time for them to come home, they don't understand whether or not they're going to reoffend, because new offenses taking places every day, and the society ain't getting no better. And law enforcement officials are now having to fight crime with a lack of resources. So situation where they try to keep the demons locked in a cage to better suit society. So that was done to Reverend Eagle, but he said, "Nah, I accept the free gift of salvation. Ain't no way you getting me back in the Desmo crap." So paragraph 8. Between 6/2022 to 10/25/2022, the defendant appealing now festooned his legal documents via conversion of electronic means as a gateway to file all documents noted at paragraph 905 now electrically via Wisconsin e-file system, circuit court now clerk, and Wisconsin Court of Appeals. And now clerk, please note the defendant believed all documents were successfully filed via transmission to his flash drive to email of defendant. Nonetheless, now mysteriously, the documents were not filed via his email through the library system. So did the library people, what happened here is what Reverend Eagle Condia's man saying. So paragraph 9, based on paragraph 8, the defendant had to rewrite and retransmit his legal documents noted at paragraph number 5. So 10, on 10/25/2002, defendant filed via email to the circuit court all noted Court of Appeals and the heading section of this pleading. On 10/26/2022, the Rock County Circuit Court now sent defendant appealant notice that his appeals were rejected for defendant's submission of Wisconsin Court of Appeals of forms to the circuit court instead of the Wisconsin Appeals into that circuit court forms. And we know that the appeals cannot be denied for failure to file the fee waiver forms. We know that. We got case law that back that up, and the judges, the lawyers, and all those humans who really understand the law, the law clerks, the law students, just understand that as well. So we cannot be denied that way, but we was denied because we didn't have the right fee for it. So that's a situation we gonna have to readdress, but this address is just for a motion to extend time. So paragraph 12. On 10/26/2022, the defendant had verbal exchange via Rock County Circuit Court clerk. Therein, he was advised that he must file now a circuit court fee waiver form to electronically file his notice of appeal for the Rock County cases, and noted at the heading of the motion for extension of time. And we know all those cases happen to be right here, people. So let's not get confused. These are the cases that's ended in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 cases. Reverend Eagle Condias man is currently not litigated. So verse 13. On 10/26/2022, defendant traveled to the Rock County Circuit Court, filled out 9 fee waiver forms for the Circuit Court, and had the documents notarized. Thereafter, he filed the documents with the Circuit Court, and so far the defendant appellant has not received any further emails noting his fee waiver forms were granted, and the Circuit Court has filed appeals and transmitted the record now to the Rock County Court of Appeals. So we got to give it to you quick. So the transmittal and the transmittal, and we ain't talking about the remittal, we talking about the transmittal. So the remittal is after the appeal is done. The transmittal is the initiation in there too. So Reverend Eagle saying verse 14. The Rock County Circuit Court, now Judge John M. Woods, has grossly abused his power and demonstrated blatant and biased actions toward the defendant appealing concerning review of defendant's fee waiver forms via defendant's request for jury trials on all Rock County cases, and continues to demonstrate miseducation and application of review of fee waiver forms according to all the statutes applicable thereto under the United States Constitution and the Wisconsin Constitution. Now, actions of due process. Now, essentially, the Circuit Court fee waiver form instructs any person filling out the fee waiver form, filling out, to complete Section 1 only. Only complete Section 1. Only complete Section 1. When a filing human is receiving food stamps, state of Wisconsin now public defender's appointment, and the financial status has not, will not at this moment change, because it's just not going to change. It's just too much going on. The form further invests and instructs if the financial status has changed, complete Section 2. If the financial status has changed, if you've got employment, if you're no longer on food stamps, if you no longer have state public defender representation, then yes, your financial status has changed. But Reverend Eagle Condias man said, hold on, Judge John M. Woods, verse 15, subsection 15, paragraph 15. Judge John M. Woods now has mistakenly read fee waiver litigants must complete Section 1 and 2. However, a competent court must read and follow statutes via indigent requests now, as the fee waiver forms instructs. They instruct the judge what to do, but this judge is just doing whatever he wants to do. So when we got a situation like that, we know that's bias. We know that's incompetence. The fee waiver forms do not present a question of law where a circuit court can ambiguously not demand more information than the law allows for proper screening of indigency. And see Wisconsin statute rule now 814.29 1A, State versus Jacobs, now 167 Wisconsin 2nd 230 481 Northwest 2nd, now 642 Court of Appeals 1992. Boulder versus State, now 101 Wisconsin 2nd, now 566 305 Northwest 2nd, now 792 1990. State X Rail, now Rilla, now versus Dane County Circuit Court 76, now Wisconsin 2nd 429 251 Northwest 2nd, now 476 1997. And paragraph 16, in the instant case, Judge John M. Woods failed to follow the law in relation to defendant's entity showing. On 3 occasions, defendant qualified for state of Wisconsin public defender now appointments, Janesville and Madison. So the Janesville case was Ronald Sutherland. He somehow was cooperating with Andrew Banks now, and they kept calling in anonymous phone calls about welfare checks and defended 5 vehicles in the Echo parking lot. There's motorcycles. They say they untitled, they are disturbance, they are nuisance, they just an eyesore to the parking lot. And mysteriously now we had a situation where those vessels now did that, and we got police reports that note that. But we got to clarify one thing, that Andrew Banks had nothing to do with Ronald Sutherland calling the police on Reverend Eagle when all his vehicles got took. But Ronald Sutherland also know from years worth of conversations that Reverend Eagle Condias man was enduring tribulation with the police. So why did Ronald Sutherland mysteriously call the police on Reverend Eagle condemns man, Timothy Lee Stewart Sr., is a question that Reverend Eagle still fails to understand. But God spiritually has showed him that he was not truth. He was falsehood, strangely mixed and entwined with a vessel that's full of the Spirit. So he has a vessel that's full of the Spirit, and then he's not full of the Spirit. So we know a lot of demonic activity not only occurs with Reverend Eagle condemned man, but maybe occurring in households. So we said he might have used to be like Reverend Eagle condemned man, where he bullying the women and the people in his life because he got to be the most dominant and the most powerful. But it's only one God we submit to. So when we treat other people like we God, we got to do a self-evaluation and ask ourselves now, is we doing the same thing that Pilate did, knowing that Jesus is God, but we still gonna cross him anyway. So that's a lexicon that Reverend Eagle condemned man had to throw at Ron, but he called the police on Reverend Eagle condemned man. And Philip Brim, city of Janesville, state of Wisconsin, United States of America, county of Rock, best attorney in the world, came to rescue. And he also said that the police and the officer, Hanson, D. Hanson, he also said that the neighbors who were going to a wedding ceremony was disturbed by my conversation with the police officer. The same officer that it was all sick, but all kind of humans said things that really wasn't true. So the video said the humans said they wasn't bothered by my conversation with the police. They actually was going to enjoy a wedding. They didn't want to let no negative energy not influence their emotion as they enjoyed seeing humans gather, and have a ball. So and celebrate now the celebration of life, and not tied to another human. Now that is say you love and you gonna respect God. So that's what happened. So verse 16. And it's the case now. Now Judge John M. Wood failed to follow the law in relation to defendant's energy status. On 3 occasions, defendant qualified for state of Wisconsin public defender appointments, Janesville and Madison. Currently, defendant is still appointed representation through Madison Public Defender's Office via Dane County cases. This is these cases, Attorney Laura Braun and Attorney Reagan Henderson, 2 beautiful angels just fighting for Reverend Eagle condemns man, putting all legal protections on any situation where I can speak on the case. Moreover, now a multiple federal and state courts have allowed defendant allowance of waiver of fees and costs via submitted fee waiver forms for federal lawsuits and court hearing transcripts. However, Judge John M. Woods has strategically denied all defendants' fee waiver forms. This demonstrates bias, ignorance, or conspiracy to jail defendant based on his state of poverty and based on his state of litigation, than just the intensity of it. So verse 17, based on paragraphs now above, defendant has demonstrated Judge John M. Woods has molested the law and abused his discretion via mandating additional information that the fee waiver form does not advise, instruct judges to review, nor instruct or demand an injured litigant via fee waiver submission to complete. Nowhere on the form does it say you must complete section 2 if you got food stamps, if you qualify for state public defender, and your situation has not changed. It does not say that. And we read into things, and the same thing when they said Reverend Eagle condemns man, can you read and do you got rights? You go to the station and make a complaint. They say can you read and do you got rights? And he got this on video. So 18. The defendant appellant now has requested hearing transcripts via fee waiver form. No action has been undertaken, and not on his 7/12/2022, 9/15/2022 via circuit court. Now, forms. No action has been taken, and Judge John M. Woods has secretly and mysteriously now somehow advised the clerks to derail the process. That's just been happening. So 19. Now, defendant appellant has requested permission to file fee waiver forms electronically. All notices of appeals via Rock County Circuit Court cases not noted at the heading of this pleading, and so far no action has been taken. So let's not get confused. We on 9 cases. We on 9 cases. Everything gonna say we on 9 cases, and we gonna get it done. Reverend Eagle ain't met a human that's smarter than him in the law, a judge, a lawyer, nobody. But Philip Brim, now he checks Reverend Eagle condemns man from time to time. You going too far with it, I don't think that's gonna work. But then sometimes it worked. And Phil just sit there with a smile on his face bigger than Kool-Aid. That Kool-Aid we like to drink. And we just have a ball. So the defendant appellant on all cases requested jury trial versus bench trial. Nonetheless, Judge John M. Woods failed to make a ruling on defendant's fee waiver forms within a 10-day time frame. And this was on all cases. So all cases, Judge John M. Woods failed to make the statutory required ruling to say whether or not the man was entitled to a fee waiver on that issue. And the defendant now has a jury trial, nor did the Rock County Clerk of Courts or Judge John M. Woods nor his staff provide the defendant with the notice that his fee waiver forms were denied. Reverend was so serious about this one, he probably would have got on YouTube and begged and started a workout video to try to get some funds to get these jury trials going, because he'd been molested so bad by the humans. He wanted to put them out there, all the law enforcement who was playing with it. Okay, this is what's going on, this is what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what happened, and he done it, and no follow-ups was done on these dons, and even more so, no, 21, Rock County case number 922 F042 was assigned to Barbara McCoy, and mysteriously, Judge John M. Woods stole the case without the consent of the defendant or the assigned judge. This was a violation of the defendant's due process and meaningful access to the court. Now, the abuse of discretion is reviewable now via appellate court. See Webster versus State, 959, Wisconsin, 2nd, 371, 208, Northwest 2nd, 396, 1973, Radoff versus Red Owl Stores Incorporated, 109, Wisconsin 2nd, 490, 326, Northwest 2nd, 240, 1982, 999. Paragraph 22. The defendant needs additional time of 15 to 30 days for filing a notice of appeal. Currently, he is awaiting decision of fee waiver forms filed electronically now through submissions now of his notice of appeal. And the fee waiver forms that were filed now on 10/26 in the circuit court, and in the circuit court of Rock County. So today is November 2nd, and he still ain't received the email saying that. And let's get to it. So let's get to it. 23. The defendant attempted on 10/22/26 to file electronically all fee waiver forms and notice of appeals to Wisconsin Court of Appeals in that form. However, the circuit court has not transmitted the appeal records to the Wisconsin Court of Appeals clerks. This leaves defendants no pro se opt-in codes to electronically file his notice of appeals to the Wisconsin Court of Appeals. Moreover, now the defendant was advised now via Deputy Clerk District 4 that the pro se opt-in code had to be mailed to the defendant. So we, after the 30-day notice, the 40 days, we just want to make sure we keep it locked in, because this was a molestation of demonry. Now that's so vicious and malicious by a judge that it's going to baffle the higher-ups who really care about the law, who really understand the law, and who really may need to sit Judge John M. Woods down in a conference room and re-educate him on screening. See, the screening of a fee waiver form. Sometimes he may be a good judge. He may be the best judge, but he may be smart like Reverend Nick. But sometimes it's some issues that we can overlook. Just like when we ask to do math with our grandchildren after we get a certain age, we get lost up in the equation of it. It's just the rhythm of the numbers and the symbols of it. So verse 25. For all the reasons above, now the defendant requests permission for electronic and submissions to be considered, and to request, she said, permission, she said, for the notice of appeals to be accepted, so we can give it to the Court of Appeals jurisdiction, and let the Lord our God now kick in on all those who really believe in God, and all those who fully affirm in their faith, and then those that may be confused to better connect now with God. So verse 25. Now, for all the reasons above, the defendant requests permission to file for extension of time to file all notice of appeals now via Rock County Court cases 21 FO, 2133, 21 FO, 2036, 22 FO, 00026, 22 FO, 402, and then the case that was stolen by Judge Wood, 21 FO, 2018, 22 FO, 821, 21 FO, 2034, 21 FO, 2035, 21 FO, 2037. Dear Heavenly Father, now take us where we need to go. If we ain't going to respect you, see, it's all about you, my Lord. I do this show for you, my Lord. I don't do this show for the humans who ain't gonna want to know you. I do it for those that want to know you, that want to get close to you, and that may be caught up in demonry, like Reverend Eagle Condemned Man was. And then one day they walk up in the church and they hear from the people of the church that people have passed out and died. I mean, physically, from accepting communion with the angels. Now they're sitting up in them church bodies now that sit below your sky. So we saying now for the people that's confused, the people that hate you, the people that love you. Reverend Eagle Condemned Man do his show, and at the same time we got a lot of people of the Ku Klux Klan and the white supremacists that's keep on playing rich games with the poor people. So Reverend Eagle saying that all that is over with. We need God to kick in on all humans, all skin colors, and my Latinos, my Africans, my Chinese, my Hindus, my Asians, my Venezuelans, my Switzerlands, my Ukrainians, and my Russians. Everybody that Reverend Eagle condemns, man, can't think of the name that you created. You got over 10,000 names, and you're trying to reach all your humans, and you're trying to make them not submit to your moral compass. Reverend Eagle condemns man in hand. We slide and God of ministries is a school, Father God. I love you. I will never cross you, and I'm trying to get the humans to understand who you fully is and to submit to your power. It's a free act that we take now when we accept the free gift of salvation. But a lot of us get confused in the execution of who and what you represent. So my Lord, I do my videos on YouTube now, and you got to understand that Reverend Eagle say his legal work was stolen, my Lord. Stolen. And that leads me to Governor Tony Evers. We got a lot of people trying to condemn the governor right now. Under Tony Evers' watch, Wisconsin schools have transformed from being a leader to being left behind nationally. Now, during his time at the Department of Public Instruction, Wisconsin students fell from 9th to 24th in math among all states. Students scored high before Evers took office. Our school received more money and produced worse results. Students, parents, teachers, and taxpayers deserve better. They do, but at the same time, they resonate with the fact that COVID-19 and the flu and all these other problematic situations now have not only affected Wisconsin, but all states in the United States Constitution, where federal and state laws now prohibited the students from gathering now in bodies. So let's look at the numbers again, because we caught up in a numbers game in this state of Wisconsin and in the United States, and we got career politicians trying to destroy all the real humans who believe in God. So IRJ Action Fund, IPO Box now 1800291, Delafield, Wisconsin, at 53018. Despite spending a record now $370,000 per classroom, the school district of Janesville test scores continue to plummet. In reading, only 38% of Janesville students are college and career ready. In math, only 37% of students are college career ready. In science, it's lacking. In economics, it's lacking. In spiritual gifts, we see nothing.